Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I would make a cute sort of mini trifold folio type of thing using toilet roll holders. So I've got 3 here, and the first thing I'm going to do is flatten them out. And if you've got a scorer, you can really try and burnish those edges to get it as flat as possible. Another thing you could do to get them really flat is if you do this ahead of time, spritz them lightly with water and then very lightly, and then put them underneath something heavy. You know, for an hour or two until the card dries. It'll dry flat. Okay, so on one of these, I'm going to cut along the top fold. And then on this one, I'm going to cut about 1 centimetre in, roughly, at both ends. And then fold that back here. And trim that off just to leave this little flap, and I'm going to do the same on this side. So these are going to slot in here. That's the plan. So in order to make it fit, I need to just trim some of this off. I'm just going to trim off a little sliver like that. Okay, so then we can put that in there, put that in there, and then fold it to make the folio. So I'm just going to use my scoreboard to score a line in. No, I haven't cut this straight at all. So you can see when I score it, there's quite a big gap, bottom compared to top. So you should probably mark it out with a pencil if you want to be more accurate, but I never do that. It'll be fine. So then when we do this, be sure to leave a little space when you glue it so that when you fold it, it folds nicely. And the same on this side as well. So before I glue everything together, I'm going to cover all the bits and pieces with paper. So I've got this paper set. This paper set here, I have no idea what this pad is from. I've had it for years. It's been sitting on a shelf. I think it was a Might have been a Recollections paper pad, but I haven't got a clue. So I'm just going to use these papers. This is a good one for using up your scraps as well. I think I'm going to use the wood grain for the outside. So what I'm going to do, so these were 12 by 12 papers and I cut them down to 6 by 6s. I'm not sure why, but they were originally 12 by 12s. I'm going to make this slightly bigger, cut the paper slightly bigger than, oh no, because it's got to kind of, so that's cool. It does fit nicely there. I'm just going to leave a little bit on this side so I can tuck it in. I'm just going to fold that tightly along there. Again, it's not straight at all. So I use wet glue, I use glue sticks. I very rarely use tape. What's your favourite type of adhesive? I think I prefer wet glue in general just because I find with the glue stick sometimes it becomes detached, but maybe it's because I'm not using enough. Okay, so now that we've got that, I'm just going to nip these corners. And then fold and glue all of these tabs. I'm just doing this really because it does give a much neater finish to the edges, you know, you can cover up all the exposed cardboard. Just try and get that as tight as you can. So you see there, it looks really much neater. And then on these ones as well, I'm going to cover the outside. So doing the same thing. I don't need to worry so much about leaving a gap on there because that's going to be disappearing anyway. So I'll leave a gap around the other three sides. then I'll cut close to this one. It isn't quite enough on one sheet of 6x6 to do two, but I don't mind using up this paper because I've had it for such a long time, so I'm just, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to glue. Now this one, just be careful. I'm not taking it over the edge, I'm going to tuck it in because I want to use this as a pocket. So just tuck that in and then press it down just to get it to seal. Oh, I've realised I made a mistake here. I want to create a notch in here. Oh no, it's okay, I can still do it. So that's that. So now I need to cover these bits. I do want, so what I want to do is, because it's going to fold like this, and then this is going to come in here. Fold like this. I want to be able to use to kind of do a fastening, so actually I don't need to notch it. I was going to put a notch in here so that I could pull out what I wanted to easily without affecting the fastening. I wanted to be able to like put some ribbon around it or something as a fastener. But because this is shorter than the back, doesn't overlap this point anyway, I don't think I need to, as long as whatever's in this pocket doesn't exceed this edge. It should be fine. So I think I'm just going to leave it and keep it simple. So now I need papers to cover this. I'm going to use, let's see, quite like this yellow mustard situation. So I'm going to just ignore that and cut around this. Again, leaving a little border all the way around. I folded back the flap because I don't want to cover that. I don't need to cover that. Need some more of that yellow paper. Or maybe I'll do different paper on the other side. Why not? Yeah, there's this nice kind of simple stripe. This is actually quite a good masculine type of pad. I wish I could remember what it was called, but anyway, it was years and years old, so you probably wouldn't be able to find it in the shops anyway. So glue down here. Actually, I made a complete mistake. You don't need to have the borders at the top and the bottom because then it's not folding over. So what I need to do is just trim that so that it's flush. Right. And then actually add some extra glue. I'm going to use my liquid glue this time. Add some extra glue on the edges to make sure that the edges are really well stuck down. Somehow managed to not cover that properly, but it's no big deal. And then take a little bit off these. Then add some glue. Tuck it in like we did before. So I'm going to leave this top edge open to use as a pocket also. So this is going to slot in here, and then so that will be glued down. So I just have to make sure that I position it well. So I think I'm going to use wet glue for this because there's a little bit more wiggle time. Glue on both sides of the tab. Put that in. And then shut it. And then make sure that it's straight and aligned. And then press and hold. Or maybe I should have lined the inside. You can kind of see it. That's all right. We can always do something about that later. And then the same on this side. I'm going to take glue on both sides of the tab. Fold it over. Right, let's just get this one in place so that this is properly positioned, because there'll be a bit of extra bulk. Oops. Make sure that that's straightened up. Okay, I think now we can stick that down. Just press and hold for a bit. Okay, so now we have our little trifold pocket. So now we can add some extra internal pockets and maybe add some tabs for the some tags or some ephemera for these sections. And I'm going to put some ribbon around the back for a closure. So pockets. Before I do that, probably just get an ink pen and ink. Ink these gaps. I wonder if I could like just stick some glue. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. So let's do some internal pockets. So I've got some of this green. Maybe I'll make a pocket out of this green. I'm going to cut. Nothing is even remotely straight. So to make the pockets, once again, I've cut the piece of paper slightly wider and deeper than I need it to be. Then fold the edges over on 3 sides. Then cut off, snip the corners, and then glue it down to make a more robust pocket. Found this old pen. So at this point I decided that I was actually going to sort out the exposed areas between the folds. So I got my alcohol marker in a sort of brownish colour and just coloured in all the exposed white that I could see. I've also noticed that these areas here are open, so I'm going to glue those down. I don't want them to be open. I'm just adding glue to a very small area along the bottom. I don't want to go too far in because I don't want to make the pocket smaller. I want to keep it as close to that size as possible. So, back to making the internal pockets. I'm just eyeballing everything and making things up as I go along, but to save yourself some time or to make things easier, it might be worth measuring the panels and cutting the paper down to size. I decided to make a triangular pocket for the central panel, so I'm just marking out some points to make it easier to cut the triangle. I think I'm going to make a triangular pocket here for this one. So just need to decide. Okay, we're going to do it like this. And then fold a little bit there. Let's see, does that work? Does it fit? It fits perfectly. Thinking about having another pocket going across diagonally like so, or if it's just too much. But obviously you could add some layered pockets. You could add another pocket across here. But I'm going to just leave it like this for now. Okay. So I want to add some decoration to the wallet because it's looking a bit plain at the moment. So I've got some of this floral pattern paper, and I'm going to fussy cut some elements from it and then use those elements to make the wallet a little bit prettier. So I've fussy cut a few elements from the paper to decorate the panels, and that's what I'm going to do now. So this is what it looks like with all the flowers added to the panels, and I've added a couple of flowers to the internal pockets as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So for the closure for the wallet, I thought about using some ribbon. So I've got some of this nice kind of copper coloured luster ribbon. So I'm going to cut a length of that and then attach it to the back, and then leave enough to tie a bow on the front and see how that looks. I'm actually going to mark out some sections and then apply. I'm using super sticky, you know, the red liner tape instead of glue. And I'm just going to add it between the two sections that I've marked out and then stick that to the back of the wallet. At first I tied a knot, but I didn't really like it, so I tried a bow. So let's take a look at the finished wallet. So you can see that I've already added some sort of journaling cards and tags into the various pockets. I made these, I did film the process, I just made them from scrap card using the same papers that I made the wallet with, but I didn't want to, I haven't included it in this video because it's already pretty long. But let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that process and I'll put that up. Well, I hope you enjoyed the project. Thank you for joining me today. Give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment. I'd really appreciate it. You can also subscribe, of course, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!